So I don't really have an intro. I'm not really too sure about an intro. Um, this is my first video for the segment that I'm thinking about exploring. I'm not really too sure where to start. All I know is it's just I want to, share a little story or share a little something with you guys, and hopefully it goes somewhere. I mean, all I can do is just share it. Um, Basically, with this segment is basically, just knowing who you are. Knowing like what your purpose is. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I know I want to base this around knowing who you are. And in theory of making this, I really had a lot of questions. I had a lot of thoughts, and I had a lot of things to get off my chest. But I'm not really too sure where I want to start. So with this segment, I just want people to know who you are. So I decided to start with myself. There's a saying. I might not word it correctly how Abraham Lincoln worded it, but the saying I basically came up with is this: if you don't know who you are, you will fall for anything. And the way my life has been for over the past few years, actually, no, for a very long time, my life been like that. Just, learning who I am. Because when I was younger, even sometimes in my older adult days, I was just not truly knowing who I was. I had an idea, but I never really knew who I was. But growing up, as every day goes by, every day I wake up, I get a chance again to start over to really learn my lesson that I've learned from the next day, from the previous day. Like in a recent past few years, I've learned who I am. It took me a minute to really understand that I am a type of person that has a good heart, that cares and love for people, that helps people in need. Basically like a humanitarian, as they say. But I'm also a person that can see through bullshit, see through lies, and I mean, as time go on, people do start to understand that. Or at least I hope they do. I mean, some people don't. You know, can't really do anything about that. But I've been through a lot in my years. I learned a lot in my years. Sometimes things happen, and I just don't know how to explain it. People come in my life a lot. People leave my life a lot, and sometimes it just happens, and I don't know how to explain it. Um, but back to my segment. So I just wanted to make a small video to help myself understand who I am, because I am about to go through I would say a journey for what I'm trying to do for the next 5 to 10 years. And I guess just to give a little backstory of me, I am a 31-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland. Excuse me. And I've been through a lot growing up. Uh, I've had a lot of people in my life that want to see me do good. Some people that really don't care, and then mix of both. I am thankful for the people in my life that actually has been helping me to understand who I am and to be a better person. The road was not easy, and it's still not easy, and it's still going on. But I'm thankful for those people that actually have stepped up and helped me out, because it's been a long journey. Growing up, didn't really know who my dad was, didn't really have a relationship with my mom, wasn't the best relationship with my sister. Um, going through school, just feeling like, how can I say it? Feeling a little lost going through school. And then, it wasn't until I got into junior ROTC that I learned that I'm a leader at heart. Um, I enjoyed my time when I was in ROTC up until my dad passed away. He wasn't really my dad. He is my dad figure. And I'm thankful for that. But he passed away, and things were a little, how can I say? Things were very dark then. It was already dark before, but things were darker. You know, um, I don't know, just like I felt lost. Then I started living with my godparents, and I still felt lost. I felt like no one really cared about who I am or trying to be who I was, and trying to be um, the better person that I needed to be. But I know I had God in my life, and I'm very thankful for Him being in my life, because I wouldn't be here. I'm talking from birth. I wouldn't be here. And very thankful, He gave people to be in my life. And it was hard being the underdog, basically, being blamed for everything, even if you didn't even do it. Just being blamed for that is really hard. I wasn't the type to run away from problems or challenges. I was more the type to embrace them. Granted, if I don't succeed, I still embrace them and still learn from what I can learn, because at the end of the day, subconsciously, I want to be a better person. I just knew if I worked on myself every day, sit down and reevaluate myself every day, I can understand my flaws, understand my red flags. If I surround myself with good people, then that'll brush off onto me, or I'll learn things where I could be a better person, which in turn, as I look back on it, it has helped. I'm thankful for my mentors. I'm thankful for my good friends, and just they was there when I really needed people. Um, Relationships like girlfriend and boyfriend type relationships, I'm thankful for those. Even though, granted, they weren't like, oh, come stay the night at my house, or I'll make you dinner, or they wasn't as special as most relationships are nowadays. But I'm so thankful for those women that were in my life, whether they passed on or they just found somebody new. Um, and I'm thankful because like, at least they are happy. If they are still around, they're happy. Well, at least I think they are. I hope they are. But all in all, man, it's just that growing up has been a hard life for me. But I've hit rock bottom multiple times. Basically dealing with heartbreaks, dealing with, as I got older, dealing with like homelessness, um, not being able to pay bills on time, jobs, stuff like that. And it's crazy because I've been through all that. Most people would have been like, yo, I quit, I give up. I didn't. I'm talking about me. I didn't give up. Other people probably would have quit. Some probably would just be like, I'm doing X, Y, and Z to get over this. I'm not the type to really tell my whole plan. I'll give you bits and pieces. I'm the type that says if that's, excuse me, I am the type that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Um, it may not happen like that, but when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I try to be very true to my word as much as possible because I've learned over the years, especially growing up, is that lying doesn't do anything. Manipulating doesn't do anything. It really ruins a lot of stuff. And I've lost friendships. I've lost good women. I've lost a lot of people. And with that lesson, I've learned to value friends, value real people, value everybody that comes into my life. Whether it's good or bad, I still try to value them because I know I'll learn something from them. Same thing when it comes to work is that even though I may not, be the leader, I still value everybody who was in leadership roles. I value the people that they tell me to train. I value the people that they tell me to work with because every day I do that, I learn something from people. Excuse me. Um, as far as like leadership roles, I've been in a lot of leadership roles growing up, from being a kid all the way up to today, or to this day. I've been in supervisor roles. I've been in group leadership roles. I've been in, as far as ROTC, element lead roles, leading cadets and stuff like that. I've been in leadership roles. So that helped me to have a better understanding of how people are. I understand people react more than they think. Some people don't understand doing something versus why they got to do it. Like, why I got to do this? When the reason to do it is right here in your face. Um, some people are not like that. Some people will just do it and don't ask questions. Me, I like to challenge the norm. If someone tells me to do something, I will do it, but I will also say why I gotta do it. Like, for instance, if I'm at work and they say, hey, you gotta do this, and we got 10 other people that can do it, why do I have to do it? Are you training me for this? A new role? What am I getting out of it? So that's how things are is with me as far as like that. As far as relationships, like friendships, I know recently me and a friend took a little space between each other, and I really cared about this person. I really love this person a lot. I'm talking about like real deep love and deep caring for this person because the crazy part is, and I know people don't understand this, is that something when I'm around her, something about her spirit, her presence, her spirit tells me not to give up on her, and also tells me like you need to be patient with her. I know that she's broken. I understand she's going through a lot, and I just wanted to be there for her. And I think the problem I had, as far as our friendship, is that I understood all of that, but I felt distant anyway. I felt like at days I was doing too much. I felt like at days she just didn't understand. And growing at this time we spent away from each other, not really talking to each other, I understood like I understand where she's coming from, and I hope she understands where I'm coming from. You know, I really wish I didn't. I really wish I saw all this before, because maybe that'll make our relationship a little better. Um, don't get me wrong. This is not all my fault or hers. I'm not putting the blame on anybody. I'm actually just being very, what's the word? I'm holding myself accountable for what I did wrong, but I also want to hold her accountable for what she did as well. And I'm not putting the blame on anybody because at the end of the day, it's probably not really any of our faults. Because growing up over the years, I've longed for a lot. Like I longed for a lot of love, a lot of friendships, a lot of people to be there, companionships, things like that. And by me not really having a lot of that, and it's not my fault. Truth, it's not our fault. Things happen in my life where my family was separated from each other. You know, I didn't see my brothers and sisters like that growing up that I can remember. Um, I didn't see my mom like that growing up. It wasn't there. You know, I didn't have a lot of decent friends growing up. So I'm more set on trying to rebuild all that. Like for instance, I don't know if my brothers and sisters know, but my birthday coming up in 20 more days. Well, sorry, 21 more days, May 26th. uh, I want all of us to come together. I want all of us to come together, be a family, have fun. Bring my mom, bring my nieces, my nephew. I got one nephew. Bring them all. That's truthfully my dying wish. One day, I don't know when this is. I know we all gonna die. But one thing I want to see happen before I die is my family coming together. We haven't been really like together in a very long time. And that's one thing I long for. But back to what I was saying, growing up, it's like I didn't know who I was. Over the years, I've learned who I am. And I'm very happy with who I am, the things that I've learned, how I uphold myself, and how I uphold everybody else. Granted, I am not perfect. I'll never say that I'm perfect. I know I still have some things to work on, and that's going to happen in time. Well, I'm not going to say forever, but it's going to happen in time. Like day by day, every day I wake up, it's a chance for me to better myself. I hope my friends who see this understand who they are too. Understanding like who you are, the impact you have in people's lives, and just knowing that you do make a difference. It may not seem like it, but you make a difference. It's a lot. I'm trying to put my mind together. I just want everybody to understand. Maybe you might not understand it now, but you probably understand it down the line. Is that I am grateful for who you are and who you have been in my life, and I hope we can all sit down one day and just literally just laugh this off. Be in good spirits. I say that because for the past few weeks, I've been dealing with a lot spiritually. Like dealing with my friend and what she got going on. Instead of one thing I learned about her, she's not really good at communication. Another thing is that her emotional capacity is very low, and I don't blame her for that. I actually do not blame her for that because I understand how it is. You don't want to be bothered with people and their energy, and you got a lot of things going on, but communication is key. With me, I try to communicate as best as I can. Unless something's really bothering me, like for instance, me and my twin sister, me and my twin sister recently had a conversation where, to me, to me, it was a it was an important conversation, but it wasn't like a drastic conversation where we had to like get on each other about something. It was more trying to see when do you want to come together as brother and sister, rebuild our relationship, rebuild things with our mom, and actually meet our birth dad, our biological dad. And the conversation didn't go as well. It really went left, like south. And I haven't talked to her for a couple of days, well, a couple of times since, because it's just the energy she was giving off about it. It's like she talk about really bettering herself because she don't talk to me and our other brothers and sisters or our mom. It's like if we feel like she's holding on to grudges, holding on to past anger, when truthfully we're not forcing her to be around us, but we would love for her to be around us because we love her, we care about her. Um, Same thing with my best friend. I haven't talked to her in almost as a regular conversation, almost a good month. As a regular conversation, a good month. Mainly because there's a lot of stuff going on spiritually between us. Like, the crazy part is me and her are connected in ways where I can't even explain it. Like, our spirit just sees each other. Because I see her, I see her red flags, I see her flaws, I see who she wants to be, I see what she's going through. And her actions and things like that, the words she say. And it's like, it's still learning who you are. And I understand the things you're doing. Do I like it? No. Most of it, no. But I'm still your best friend. I'm still going to be here for you. I'm still going to love you unconditionally. And there are some things I know I've said that made our relationship a little but I've apologized deeply for those things I've said. My actions, things like that, I apologize deeply because I knew most of the time I was just saying stuff, or I was just responding to respond and not understanding what's going on. And plus, also, I knew you're scared. With what I know about her, my best friend, is that I understand she's very scared of trying to do things with me, and it's okay. It's okay. Hell, I'd be scared to do things too. Sorry. But she's learning who she is now, and that's a good thing. The only thing I've seen is that part of her process that she needs to really work on is communication, emotional communication, which that takes time. Knowing what her red flags are and knowing what her flaws are. Because one thing I learned about this is that healing takes time. Healing, especially from past healing is knowing that your trauma happened in the past. You're coming to terms with that trauma and you're acknowledging that it happened in the past. You can't change the past. What you can only do now is look forward and move forward. You can accept that the things happened in the past and it's not going to put a bad impact on who you are as a person. Yes, it's okay to talk about your past traumas and to understand like, hey, this happened when I was younger or a few years ago or X, Y, and Z, but that's not hindering who I am as a person, who I'm trying to grow as. Excuse me. Because that's what I had to do for myself. And that's how I became the person that I am now. people will tell me, Renard, you're a good man. Continue being who you are. Continue being a good man. Help those people in need. The crazy part is that as far as me helping people in need, I did that naturally. Me being the type of man I am, I stay rooted in me being the type of man that I am, I actually stay rooted in my youth, growing up. I'm not talking about trauma this time. I'm actually talking about the way how I cope with my trauma back in the day. A lot of times I was used to like, this is what I used to do back then. I was write, I would write in a journal. I still actually have one. It's a new one. I would play video games, play my drums, you know, do research on airplanes. I was an airplane fanatic back in the day. The solar system, knowledge, bettering my knowledge. My speech may not be the best. I'll be honest, I had a speech impediment in a sense. Like different signs of speech impediment. I would usually stutter a lot, or I wouldn't get words correct when I was younger. But yeah, my speech, learn the way I view people, going out talking to friends, hanging out with friends, understand how things work. Uh, I, according to my dad figure, excuse me, and a lot of the mentors that are in my life, most of them know that I like to mess with things. I like to see how they work, how to fix them, how to I break them, fix them, stuff like that. Eh, I still technically do that to this day. Uh, it's a lot that I used to do to try to cope with my traumas. Because one of my traumas was being alone, feeling lonely, you know, feeling like I'm here by myself. Why do I not have a lot of friends? Why do people make me feel like I'm the underdog? Things like that. And growing up, I used to really like sometimes isolate myself because I was afraid. I'm not even gonna lie, I was afraid to really make friends because of how I saw people outside. Like outside of my home, people always I've seen people do things that were pretty damn ugly, and I didn't want to be around that. So me being picky about my friends helped me to really learn about people. And I'm thankful for the friends that I met at the time. I'm thankful for a lot of friends that I still have. I'm thankful for the people that I can talk to help me get through this. I do hope that I can continue to be a light in someone's life, and I just really want things to be a better outlook. I guess that I could say. I don't think that's the right word to say, but I'm gonna use that for now. Uh, but this is all part of my segment. Is knowing who you are. I may not have a lot of questions right now as far as continuing this segment. I'm not even sure this is even gonna pop off, as most people would say. But this is just something I want to start doing on a weekly basis for the things I'm about to start really getting back into, like for instance my martial arts, playing drums again, really getting out the house, you know, bettering my spiritual life and bettering my physical life. Because before I sit down and get married, well, I'm sorry, before I truly, yeah, no, forget that. Yes, before I sit down and actually get married and have kids and really build this empire that I'm trying to build, I want to make sure that I'm okay, that I'm in the right spot. And it's gonna be a long journey, but I have it set in my 5-year plan, and hopefully, I'm praying that things work out because I got a good feeling about this. But I hope the next person I have on here won't be me. And maybe this will be the next segment. But hey, hope you guys like this, and thank you.